Hi guys, knivesfishwild here, and just want to show you my cKc collection. These knives I not just collect, but I also use some of them. This is the Forrester, and well, this knife I hardly use because it is a big knife that I do not often need. But this knife is one of my treasures. It is a very unique piece, and the wood handles, I believe this is Kwila wood. Well, it just feels exceptional, and it's really I feel there is no better material on this knife than this wooden handle. I've handled a lot of micarta knives, a lot of micarta handles, and this wood just well, it not just looks good and feels good using, but I just feel that it is a little more forgiving than micarta, which feels like a rock in its sense. And for such a big blade, this nicely contoured wood handle is just perfect. It feels a bit more forgiving, and the traction is good and no hot spots. Really beautiful knife, and I like the two-tone polish on the blade. Pretty cool, I think. Very good knife. So this is the Forrester. I'll just zoom out for you to see. Just nice knife that can do everything, And this is the Trailblazer. Pardon me. As I film with one hand and try to do others, try to film with one hand and show you the knives and unsheath them with the other hand. So this is the Trailblazer, the full-size Trailblazer. The other is called the Mini, which I sold to a nice guy, because I have more small knives, and these are the larger blades, and you can see the size comparison between the two. This is a very swift blade, and a very beautiful blade in my opinion, the Trailblazer. So far, in terms of design and just the feel, no other knives that I've owned comes close, and the grind on this is executed to perfection. A very light feeling knife as well. Awesome blade. This is awesome, and I love straight edge blade. I'm not a fan of recurve blades, except when they are for collection. Generally, I'm a practical guy. So let's move on. This is the the third biggest knife in my cKc collection. This is the Thrive Bushmaster, and it is the heaviest of my small knives. Well, it is really hard to unsheath, so I have to put down my phone for a while. Pardon me. You can see the cKc logo while I rest my phone. Alright, you heard the unsheathing. It's stiff, but it's meant to be that way for that sheath. You know, a very strong lock. These come with aluminum pins, but my Thrive Bushmaster has beautiful mosaic pins. Okay, let me just remove this black kydex sheath. And so these are my three, you know, heavier knives. In fact, however, you know, compared to a lot of other knives, these knives are actually pretty light in their class, you know. Except maybe this is, but still, you know, for its size and for configuration, it is still light, because I believe this has a skeletonized tang. But this is definitely the heaviest of my blades. I mean, my small blades. This is the cKc Thrive Bushmaster. So you can see the size comparisons of these three knives. Pretty nice, I think. This is the original Thrive design, and I think this is the first batch of Thrive as well. Yes, I think so. And this knife debuted with a limited edition steel that you know, Kylie might never make again, or even if he does, I think it's going to be also a very limited run, because this Thrive comes in S35 VN steel, which is an American steel. I think most people have heard of S30V, which Chris Reeves had a part of in the R&D, the research and development of the steel. And S30V is a very good steel, usually seen as a pretty expensive steel. And this steel is you know, a kind of upgrade from a kind of upgrade to S30V, because this steel is made in such a way that it has better, you know, has similar properties to S30V, except that it is a tougher steel than S30V. Okay, this is S35 VN. Okay, so it is a less common steel, but because it is a premium steel, that's why it is also not as commonly used, because it is you know, one of those really more premium and exotic steels. And I love S35 VN from I've first-hand experience with the toughness on this knife, you know, on this knife, and you know, it's I'm really quite I'm really very happy with S35VN, and these two knives, although they are, you know, the Thrive, but this is the Thrive Bushmaster, and you know, the grind on these two knives are executed very differently as well, and I won't go into detail over here, but you know, if you can see, I will do another video to compare the you know, and talk more about the grinds on these two knives, you know, and the uniqueness of this Bushmaster. So as you can see, well, it's not just the tip and spine, you know, of these two knives that are different. This grind is really, there's something special about it, and both serve different purposes in my use. I use this knife quite often. This is one of my you know, uses, but I keep all my knives in very tip-top condition, you know, even though I use them. You know, care must be taken when using knives. We must be careful, you know, when using knives. And let's move on. This is the let me just pop it out from its sheath. This is a very streamlined sheath on the you know, on the Streamline 2.2. This is the cKc 2.2. Let me just move the knives up so that we have more space. Alright, let me just adjust them so that we have a good size comparison between the knives. So you can see the lengths for yourself. Right. Good. So this is the 2.2. This is in D2 steel, a very lovely knife, and the handle is specially contoured, also with Kwila wood, and you know, I've come to really love this wood. This is more durable than Padauk that Kylie is currently using. A really durable wood, even though it you know, has a different grain. It looks kind of different from Padauk, and but I like the nice dark brown color to it, and as such a wood ages, it will only look better. However, Padauk is also very good, and might not be as hard as this wood, or might be slightly less hardy, but you know, it is still very durable and more than enough. And moreover, it has a beautiful look to it too. You know, just different kinds of wood. There are too many beautiful woods in the world for knife handles, so nothing to complain about. So this you know, is some sort of like a torpedo cigar shaped handle. Really unique and special on this knife. You know, the feel is very special on this 2.2. So D2 steel that I love, the original D2, very unique properties to it. This is 01, by the way, the Trailblazer, and I think 012 steel is the best steel for such a knife, in my opinion. You know, this kind of knife, it's good to have a carbon steel on it. Even though I'm not a huge fan of carbon steels, I tell you, 01 is not just exceptional, but on such a knife, you know, for my intended use and enjoyment, I think carbon steel is good. Of course, you know, stainless will have its you know, properties as well, but I just think I should have a little bit of 01 or carbon steel in my knife diet. But anyway, seriously, it's just my opinion and it's just my preference that this knife is best in 01. Anyway, it's only made in 01. And these are all very limited runs or unique, you know, these knives. And this is the also the limited D2 run of the cKc 1.0. This one has a glow pin here, and this has Kylie's original flat screws, hexagon screws. Let me just try to focus. Right? So these are the knives, but there's one more. This is the cKc Penknife, which I got as a birthday present. Just popped out like that. Great. And I love the sheaths of some of my knives. You know, it's at the edge. I'm not going to let it fall off. So let's adjust the knives a little. Nearly fell off. This small knife, this pen knife. So it's the cKc Penknife, the prototype, and this was actually supposed to be Kylie's own collection, but he was really kind enough, nice enough to you know, give it to me as a birthday present. I'm really grateful, and you know, I must say over here that you know, I've learned a lot of knife stuff from Kylie, whose YouTube nick is Knives and Stuff, and he's the maker of cKc knives. And incidentally, in case you do not know, cKc stands for Custom Kylie Cutlery. Kind of a corny, you know, kind of corny, but I think it's cool. So these are my cKc knives, and they are all, you know, very special, unique, and you know, I use them carefully, and they are always kept in tip-top condition. So at any point in time, they are all very sharp and you know, just ready for use. Just want to you know, also thank Kylie for being a good friend, a really good friend, and you know, you know, continue to you know, support his work. Check out his videos, very informative, and also thanks to virtuovice. Well, it's really you know, virtuovice in my early chats with him, in you know, PMs in those early days, that prompted and inspired me to you know, start making knife videos, because he said he wanted to see some of my knives and all. So so I started making videos, and you know, try to put out as much help to the YouTube knife community as possible whenever I have time. And so far this has been the result of about a year plus of effort. And yep, it's been a interesting run. And well, never knew that I would have subscribers of this current number. But it's really encouraging. It's also it feels good that we make videos, people subscribe and comment and find that it is useful. It gives me a sense of satisfaction that I've actually contributed something and helped people especially in the area of knives, and sometimes just entertainment, fun. And through this whole journey, my knife journey and YouTube journey, I have also made some pretty good friends, and Kylie is one of them, of course. Got to know virtuovice, but that was also before I had my own channel. And another two guys are traderjoes and stripymccatpuss. Well, Stripey and I often joke in comments and such, ripping each other new asshole sometimes. But he's also a very nice guy, great friend, and he has a channel as well. So do check out stripymccatpuss. He's a interesting guy, and I'll put their nicks in the comments below. Another guy is traderjoes. He's a really good friend, and he also loves knives, and he buys quite a lot of knives. So do check him out. He buys and sells knives. Also went on a knife journey, and I got to know him through cKc knives as well. But that was quite some time ago. So really great guy, American. Stripey is Scottish, I believe, or rather he's in Scotland, as you can see clearly from his videos. And Kylie's from New Zealand, and virtuovice, Japan. And I recently got to have started corresponding with another cool guy. Well, I think he's a grandpa, but correct me if I'm wrong. He goes by the nick Southern Cross, with some digits behind. He's actually quite a big name in knife forums, I think, although I do not frequent forums, and I really hardly go to any knife forums. I don't have time for that, and I don't bother about knife forums. I'm at least up to this this point, I'm purely YouTube knife. But Southern Cross has is well known in the knife community, and also a great guy from Australia. His YouTube videos don't have little viewership, but he's a knowledgeable knife guy, and he's experienced user of knives, I must say. Do check his vids out. I'll put their nicks in the comment below. So Southern Cross is also known as Mick, his name, as in Mick Jagger, Mick. Just a personal message to Mick over here. I doubt he will comment anyway publicly. I haven't seen any comments from Mick in my but he's more private in that sense. But you know, Mick, I think this knife over here seems to me like an you know, an answer to your Southern Cross in a sense. This seems to me like a cKc answer to the Southern Cross. The grinds and stoutness and a strong tip is kind of reminiscent of your Southern Cross, which I think is a very interesting and a great design, well thought out. You know, check out the Southern Cross, guys, if you are interested. That could be a good knife too. So, long video. Once again rambling about my cKc collection. Well, I'm just awaiting another member, to add another member to the cKc collection, and that is also an AEBL steel knife, like this penknife, but that AEBL steel is going to have an upgrade, you know. It's going to be better than the prototype. This is a prototype. This is a prototype. This has become a very good relic. This is also a relic. Prototype, unique, completely unique, just one. This is the very limited run S35V and Thrive. This is the very unique D2 2.2, a unique 1.0, and a definitely unique sheath that collaborated with Kyla in this sheath design. And so thanks for watching, guys. You know, Christmas is around the corner, so I just want to wish you guys early season's greetings, and I want to thank all my subscribers. You know, thanks for subscribing. You know, if you have anything that you would like to see, just you know, put a comment. I'll try to do that for you guys if you have any. But I must say that during this time I'm really very swamped, and you know, next year 2012 is going to be an even more busy year for me. So well, we'll stay in touch, I believe. So you know, take care, guys, and we'll see you soon. Rock on.